The Alaigbo Development Foundation on Friday joined several other Igbo groups to condemn and reject the January 10, 2021 Ohanaeze general election, which produced Professor George Obiozor as President General, saying the process was marred by bribery and manipulation. The foundation, in a press release made available to the Whistler in Awka, said it arrived at its decision after an emergency meeting of the Council of the Alaigbo Development Foundation (ADF), which was convened via Zoom to discuss reports of the election. The release, signed by its president, Professor Uzodimma Nwala, Vice President Professor Elochukwu Amochieze, BOT Chairman Bishop Obi Udezue Onubodu, and Publicity Secretary Honorable Abia Onyeka, stated that the council rejected in its entirety the outcome of the elections and refuses to recognize anyone elected in and through the purported Ohanaeze election. The council said the foundation did not participate in the election, adding that if anyone associated with the ADF did participate in the conduct of the election, it did so on its own personal accord or as a representative of another organization. The grounds for the rejection of the Ohanaeze election, according to the release, are that the entire preparation and conduct of the election breached the constitution of Ohanaeze. They exhibited arrogance, impunity, and inordinate desire to foist a predetermined list of officers and leaders of the Ohanaeze Ndigbo. Reports from the field of the election confirmed the corrupt nature of the elections, involving bribery and brazen manipulation of the outcome. In addition, the venue of the election was flooded with the intimidating presence of federal security forces, including soldiers and police. Reports from various Igbo communities, both at home and in the diaspora, since January 10th show that a majority of Ndigbo are in a virtual state of mourning over this latest arrogant show to the entire world that the Igbo nation is indeed a conquered territory. The ADF Council, in the release, commended individuals and groups that had condemned the Owerri election, including Ime Obi Ohanaeze, the Global Igbo Leaders, the World Igbo Congress, the Igbo World Assembly, the Igbo Women Assembly, Igbo Leaders of Thought, the leadership of Nzuko Umuna, and leaders of the Anyoma and Rivers communities. It continued that the ADF calls on the Igbo nation not to allow the unfortunate incidents surrounding the botched Ohanaeze election to dampen their spirit of resistance against the present siege on Igbo land and the entire Igbo nation. We further call on Igbo women to rekindle their spirits of resistance in like manner that helped to destroy the fabric of the colonial apparatus. In the same way, we urge our community leaders to ensure the emergence of town unions as true instruments of development and avoid being seen as a body of opportunists always licking the booth of self-serving politicians. On the next line of action, the council stated that if they persist on sustaining this dead Ohanaeze as the Igbo socio-cultural organization, then ADF shall, before the end of January 2021, and in conjunction with other patriotic Igbo organizations and leaders of Ndigbo, proceed to search for and put in place an alternative pan-Igbo socio-cultural organization that will stand for and protect the interests of Ndigbo and the entire Igbo nation. This Ohanaeze election is becoming something else. You can imagine a lot of people who have come out to say, no, this is not it. Even Nnamdi Kanu has even condemned the whole thing. And again, I think a PDP too, they came and they were just even laughing at the Ohanaeze, because you could see that it is almost the formation of APC, trying to, and they are so happy. APC, I think APC is the only group that is really happy about this whole thing. And for all concerned people, they have come out to say, no, that is not it. This is not the way it ought to go. This is not it. And like they said, that it was mad with intimidation and bribery. You can imagine such a thing. So how can this kind of a thing be tried? Tried? Because at some point I was just asking, this is supposed to be socio-cultural group. What is the business of all this political party here and there? I was just surprised, and in no distance time people began to say no, that is not the way it ought to be, because there will be influence, and meanwhile they are supposed to be neutral or be far away from anything government, so that you'll be able to speak for your people. And even the Ohanaeze that just the concluded one, or the outgoing officers of this Ohanaeze, they've been complaining about them because the people in that region don't usually, or don't even know where they even belong as far as government and politics and all of that is concerned. And now this one again, thinking that it's going to be free and fair, it's going to be transparent, and not even having any form of affiliation with all these political parties. But unfortunately, reverse is the case. These are the men called intellectuals that have been driving the affairs of Ndigbo without nothing to justify their leadership, but only to continue dining with the oppressors out of fear. Please, something seriously should be done. These old wines in new bottles. The election process should be challenged. Ndigbos have never had leaders and cannot raise one. Igbo, Nwereze. All these people are Anambra people. I pray that God will not allow them to destroy Igbo land. Gone in those days, they were parading themselves as the only original Igbos that will be speaking for Igbos. One day, they will go back to Benin, where they came from. Our eyes have opened. They are fake Igbos. I am highly disappointed to hear a professor name among charlatans. Even if it was not Obizo that was elected, they will still complain. It was all over the media that the Ohanaeze election was on January 10th, that the election has come and gone. The winners emerged, and so are the losers. In Nigeria, no loser takes his loss. It's either his dead grandfather caused it, or that he saw the winner drinking tea in the hot afternoon. For every winner, there are challenges, hurdles, and obstacles to surmount. It's part of life. It happens even in the kitchen. Women can testify. I'm disappointed in ADF and its leaders, led by Professor Nwala, whom I have so much respect for. For the interest of Igbo race, let them sheath the sword and join hand with Professor George Obiozo, led Ohanaeze, to move the Igbo race. Well, people are supposed to know when to retire. Igbo, Iwenze. Everyone wants to be president of Ohanaeze Ndigbo. I fear them all. Mad people everywhere.